Hi guys, welcome to Cryssy's Tiny Kitchen. Today I have a really special treat for you guys. The Big Easy is coming to the Tiny Kitchen. I'd like you guys to meet my good friend Warren.
How's it going, guys?
So Warren owns and runs the Big Easy Kitchen in Regina, originally from
New Orleans.
So he's bringing us a taste of New Orleans today. He's going to show us how to make a true traditional gumbo. So yes. I'm going to let him take over today. I kind of just get to be a special guest, I guess, of my own in my own kitchen.
Sounds good.
All right, you show us how to do this.
Okay, guys. So with any we want to dish like this, we start with a roux. That's the base for all stews and gumbos like this. So with any roux, it's equal flour to oil. So we already have the oil heating up right now. We have our flour. So we just put it in here.
And the oil you're using is just a canola oil?
Just a regular canola oil. So, and you just want to get it, to get it going. Make sure it doesn't really clump up as well. And we're looking for a nice dark roux because it gives the body, the flavor of the gumbo. Once you get to your nutty brown, you know you're on a good pace for it. And then once you get to that point, it's just slow and steady till you get to that dark color that you like. And then once you get to that dark color, then you add your liquid, and then you start adding your other seasons, which is the Holy Trinity, which is our celery, bell peppers and onions, which is also a base for a lot of our dishes in New Orleans as well. So yeah, so right now this is just the easy part. You just patience, a lot of stirring, just make sure everything comes together and blend. As you can see, I'm adding flour as we go just to make sure there's no clumps in the grease as we go. And once it gets to when it gets to a smooth texture, we just stir and just keep stirring until we get to that color. Now, for some people who are new to this, I would recommend to keep your fire somewhat medium low because once your roux burns, you gotta throw it out. It's done. So for beginners, I would definitely recommend to do it low, medium low. For people like myself, I normally put it at medium high, just because I know what to watch out for in this. So that's just a small little tip, guys. So
who taught you to make a true gumbo? Like
my mother.
Oh, of course.
Just watching my mom cook, and once I became an adult and on my own, I wanted to make it myself and. Went home and asked the true chef in my family how to make it, and that's what she showed me how to make it.
See, that's what like I had actually told Warren, I actually don't care for gumbo myself, but I've only had Canadian attempts at it, so I'm really excited to have a true New Orleans gumbo. And especially you said like your mom taught you, like this is how I cook. You guys know I always talk about my mom and how recipes are passed down and stuff. So our cooking style is very, very similar. So that's looking really nice. Thickening slowly. This is good.
So what I did with this, because it was getting a little too hot too fast for me, it started to clump up. So what I did was I just cut the fire down just a little bit to slow down the heat in the cooking process. That way I can get it back under control. Once I get it back to a smooth consistency, I'll turn the heat back up, just so I can kind of control it better. So even for me, people like myself, sometimes you gotta play with the heat, because sometimes it will clump up really fast on you.
But that's a really good tip. So if it is clumping on you too fast, turn that heat down so you can work it a little bit more.
You can work it a little bit better. Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
See, because like I make roux all the time for cream sauces and things like that, but I'm never having to bring it to the point where you get it so dark and so developed. Of course, we're not going to sit here on camera the whole time watching and waiting for it to brown. Like
so
roughly from start to finish to get your perfect roux.
Depending on the expertise of that person, so someone like myself who's been doing it for a while now, I can get to that dark flavor within 20 to 25 minutes.
Wow.
For someone who is new at it, and if you don't have to redo it over, it's about 45 minutes of constant stirring. And again, it burns really easy. So I always tell people when you're making a gumbo, make sure everything's already prepped.
Yeah.
So there's no need to walk away to cut anything or grab anything. Have everything right next to you.
Because this is the most crucial part, right?
This is the main part of the gumbo.
There's already a little bit of a nutty smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you walk away for 30 seconds, it's done.
It goes from dark to...
and it takes no time to burn the bottom of it. So once it burns, it's done. You gotta throw it out because if you continue cooking it like with this, it's gonna come through. That burnt flavor is gonna come through your gumbo, and it's just a lost cause.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're gonna keep cooking this down, and we're gonna come back when it's sort of at that stage where we want it to be, and I'll do a nice little close-up for you guys as well. So if you're kind of trying to follow along at home, you can see exactly where it needs to be. So we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, so I just wanted to show you guys a close-up here. So you can smell the nuttiness of the flour with the oil. And Warren has put in his Holy Trinity, which is...
celery, bell peppers, and onions.
And does it matter on the color of the bell pepper?
Traditionally, it's a green bell pepper, but if you want some color, you can definitely do red, yellow, just on your preference. Myself, I use what I have on hand. If I had today was yellow, so today is yellow bell peppers in my gumbo, but it's totally preference. Whatever you have in your fridge.
That's the way I cook in all my videos. I'm always saying, you know what, I use this, if you have this, whatever, you know. That's the way that you gotta adapt. When you're a good cook, you gotta be able to adapt. Okay, so we're adding the water in. So you don't even have to use a broth. So the water itself, because there's gonna be so much flavor in there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now this water is just gonna just break down the flour. So we want to cook the flour out of the roux because you don't want that floury taste. So with the Trinity and the water, we're gonna start cooking down the flour out of it, and then with the flour will thicken up the water, which will be pretty much your base for gumbo. Okay. Yeah.
So we're gonna check back again in a minute and show you guys the progress on our gumbo. Alrighty, so we're still at the stage where Warren is just adding water bit by bit. It's really getting nice and thick, and we're just gonna keep on cooking that down, keep stirring. Any tips at this point? Because this can clump up really easily on you.
So at this point, you want to just keep stirring, and the flour, or the roux, like how you want to describe it, will make will thicken the liquid up. So this is, you really want to constantly add water to it to get to a consistency that you find likable. For myself, I'm kind of in the middle. Not too thin, but thick enough to where it coats the rice. I like to have my rice coated. Some people like it really thin, like really soupy.
Soupy, yeah.
That's not really my preference. And then you can have really thick to where it's too heavy and thick, and you lose that taste. So for me, I kind of find a happy medium.
That is more appealing to you as well. Yeah.
So you get enough of it to where it covers the rice, but you can still enjoy it to where you're not having a mouthful of just, I guess, yucky. It's not yucky, but just heavy glue almost. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What I'm finding interesting too, I just wanted to comment on, is like a lot of braised, slow sort of dishes, you're putting in your meats in that first. So this is different to me in that you're creating your sauce first, and then you're going to add your meat and everything in after.
So so once you put this in, like once this part is to your color and your texture, you put the meat in and cut it down low and let it, and it also gives more flavor to the gumbo as well. So the chicken and your sausage, it just adds more flavor.
Awesome.
To it as it simmers.
I'm actually really excited for this. Like I said, I'm not a huge gumbo fan, but I haven't.
Today.
Yeah, I haven't had a true New Orleans gumbo. I just want to add in too that Warren does authentic crawfish boils.
Yes.
Comes to your I just want you to tell a little bit about, like, you come to the house.
Yes. So with our crawfish balls, we come to your home. So let me backtrack. In New Orleans, traditionally, your family and friends sit around a big table, do the crawfish ball, take the pot, put it on the table, and you just kind of stand on the table and eat. and socialize and gather with your family and friends.
The epitome of family style.
Exactly. One big long table. You sit around and you just eat. So what I did, I brought it here. I brought it to Saskatchewan. I brought it to Canada. So I come out to your home. I set up in your yard, and I do everything right in front of you, from start to finish. And then I put it on the table, New Orleans style, and I show you guys how to eat crawfish NOLA style.
Which is, what's the method?
So, the method is, we call this called pinch the tail, suck the head. So the crawfish meat is in the tail. So it's hard to demonstrate without crawfish.
Yeah.
But it's a twist and pull. You take the top layers off the shell off the tail, pull it with your teeth, and then you take the head of the crawfish, suck it,
juices.
and all the juice, all the broth that's been soaking in, is in there.
And to me, I can very much relate to that, because when we do a big boil with our shrimp, crab, shellfish, and all that in our Portuguese cooking, it's the same idea. We're cooking those shrimp with the head on.
Exactly.
There's too much flavor.
Exactly.
To just discard that.
Well, in the crawfish balls, you have shrimp, you have crawfish, you have potatoes, sausage, and I mean each region in the South does it a little bit different, but it's all still the same base.
Yeah. That's amazing. I love. I think we're gonna have to see if once things start to get back to normal, see if you can make a little road trip back to Winnipeg.
I do travel.
And
the big easy travels.
Not if, when that happens, we'll definitely have to film that and show you guys how fun that is. Definitely. So we're gonna keep on stirring this, and to me right now it's a texture almost of like a nice creamy soup, almost like the idea of, say you're doing like a cream of a potato leek soup. It's got that nice rich texture to it.
Well, and the thing also, once you put the meat in, it also thicken up some more, because the meat and stuff will actually give it some more body.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll definitely thicken up. It's not super thin, because I do know the meat will give it some more body.
Yep.
And as you let it cook, as you let it simmer, it's going to constantly get a little bit thicker, but this is kind of where I like it, so there's room to play. So if I need to add a little bit more water to it, I can.
That's the nice thing, that you can sort of play. If you like, oops, a little too much of this, then we'll balance it out. A little more water if it's too thick. That's good. That's good. And I can't believe how great this smells already with such basic ingredients, so little ingredients. I already know that I have not been, the gumbos I've tasted have not been the right kind of gumbo. So we're gonna keep on stirring this again, and we're gonna check back with you guys in a little bit. So we are ready to add the meat into the pot here. So what we've got.
So typically in New Orleans food or dishes, we use andouille sausage, which is a spicy pork sausage. It's not a common meat that you will find here in Canada. So if you can't find andouille sausage, or if you can't get it shipped to you, I use just regular smoked sausage, and chicken. My preference is thigh meat, because it's fattier, has more flavor. I find with chicken breast, it dries out really quickly. With thigh meat, it has a lot of fat, it's juicy, and it holds really well with the heat, and it doesn't dry out. And that's it. Now with other gumbos, you can do seafood, you can do shrimp, crabs, crawfish, okra. So it's just whatever your preference is. But for myself, I do chicken and sausage, just because that's what I prefer. But yeah, you can put whatever. There have been gumbos with catfish bites in there as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can do catfish and make it a nice little nugget size, and put it in there. But you put it in at the very end.
Right.
At the very end of the gumbo, because it'll break and fall apart.
Right.
So once you get everything cooked, you put it at the very end, and you have a catfish gumbo.
Is there any particular, would it still be gumbo if we didn't have sausage in it? You can
do a vegan gumbo to where it's just okra.
Okay.
Yeah, just okra in there.
Okay.
So back home, during Lent season, a lot of times people would just do okra gumbo.
Oh, that's good to know.
And during Lent, you can have seafood in your gumbo.
Yeah.
But if you're not, I'm not a big seafood eater. I know. So being from New Orleans, I should, but not being a huge seafood lover, I would just do okra in it. So you have your bell pepper celery, which is a trinity, plus the okra in there, and it still has the same flavor and it's still hearty.
You're using oil, you're using flour, you're using veg, so everything in there is vegan. Perfect, okay, because I like having those options, I really do.
Okay, so now we're going to put the chicken in here.
Okay.
Now, if you notice that I didn't season the meat, I don't season the meat just because I'm adding seasoning to it as a whole, and I don't want to over season it to where it's salty. And like I said, thigh meat is already fatty. So I don't want to add a lot of seasoning to it because I'm going to add seasoning to the very end, and my sausage has seasoning as well. So I want some balance. So a lot of times I don't season my chicken just because I'm going to add seasoning to it as we go. That way we just ensure that it's not salty.
And the smokiness too in that sausage already.
Oh,
that's going to give really nice flavor.
So now we add the sausage.
I've never been this excited for gumbo.
Now you guys can't see, but it's already, so it was pretty thin before we put in the meat. Now, so we added the meat is now back to kind of a thick consistency. As soon as we put the meat in. So this is when you would probably add a little bit more water. To thin it out just a little bit, not a whole lot, just enough to where it's not that thick, heavy gumbo. But just that quick, adding the meat to it. It's now thick again.
Interesting. Because I would almost think that adding the meat in, it would let go of some of its liquids and stuff that it might thin it more. But no, it's actually the opposite.
We were kind of not super thin, but we was thin enough. To where it wasn't holding on to the spoon. And now it's, the spoon is pretty coated.
I was going to say, can I do that? I can see there.
Before it was really thin.
Nice and coated.
And now it's coating the spoon really well now.
This reminds me almost of like before custard gets to its like thickest stage. This is sort of that texture when it's like just past a creme anglaise getting into more of a thick custard sort of. This looks and smells so good.
So we have a little bit of water here.
Okay.
So we add some water to it, just a little bit. And
that looks delicious. So this is just going to keep cooking?
It'll cook.
Okay.
So now we put it on the simmer.
Okay.
And once the chicken is done, because your sausage has been double smoked, so it's already cooked. So you're just adding cooked meat to add flavor. But the chicken, it cooks. Then you just let it simmer.
And this sausage we ended up actually just grabbing at Superstore. So you don't have to go anywhere crazy to find this. Of course, if you can get the andouille, it's more authentic. But
it gives so much more depth and flavor in it. Whereas, and like I said, the smoke it still gives it flavor, but the andouille is just a natural spice that it makes it very standoutish.
And it's that real deal.
Real deal.
For sure. So we're going to let this cook down. And again, we'll check back in a little bit. So Warren is now adding his seasonings into the gumbo. We're not going to be able to reveal all of his secrets. This is his own blend. But if you can kind of share what you're putting in now.
So right now we're doing garlic powder, onion powder, a little celery. This is not a normal item, but it gives a little bit of depth. And it bay leaves. We didn't do bay leaves in it this time, so I'm doing a little bit of celery, which is already in here, but it just gives it more depth. And then we have my Big Easy homemade seasoning, which is what I use for all my dishes. It's my multi-purpose seasoning. So it has a little bit of everything in there. Plus the kitchen sink.
Is there a little bit? Is there like a little heat to it? Is it spicy?
So what I will tell you in this right here, I'll give you one ingredient. Cayenne pepper. So that's one thing I will tell you guys. Cayenne pepper is in here, which is a base for most Cajun food.
I was gonna say, when people think of Cajun food, I think a lot of people think like spice.
Yeah, that's the big misconception about Cajun food. They believe it's supposed to burn your mouth, just instant heat. I tell people, New Orleans food is flavor up front with heat on the back. So you want to be able to taste the celery, the bell peppers, the onions, the salt, the pepper, all those nuances that makes it flavorful.
Yep.
Then towards the very end of it, on the back of your palate, you go, wow, that's a nice little kick.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you take a drink of something, then you go for some more.
Nice.
That's
the kind of spice I like.
Yeah. I mean, if you eat a dish that, as soon as you eat it, you feel heat, you're missing the best part of the food.
Absolutely, I agree. Yep. I like it when it's just that, because there's spice just for the sake of spice, like heat. But when it's for flavor, then it's enjoyable. Because, like, I don't want to just be sitting there and my mouth is hurting for no reason.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I really, really like spicy food. But it has to be flavorful.
Some balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Balance,
have balance to it.
Yeah. Ooh, this honestly smells so good.
So
Okay.
now, this is the creme de creme, is what they call it? The creme de creme? The masterpiece?
Okay.
Yeah. So just a little bit. This right here goes a long way. You don't need a whole lot.
Okay.
It's very It's very potent. So you don't need a whole lot of this.
That smells amazing.
What I will tell people, as well as when you cook your gumbo, definitely taste it as you go along.
Yeah.
To see if you need to add. My mom always told me it's easier to add than take away.
That's right.
So I always tell people when you're cooking, put a little bit in it, just enough, and then let it sit for a few minutes so everything kind of marry.
Yep.
And then taste it and see what it tastes like. And if you need to add more salt, whatever, then you can add to it.
Yeah.
If you just go off the first rip,
yeah,
and it's too salty, it's kind of done.
Yeah.
You can't really tweak it anymore.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to add and taste, and then once you get it to your preferred taste buds, then you're good to go.
Is this what you use for your crawfish boils too?
Yes. So.
Okay.
So my crawfish boil, it's like I said, this is my base. The crawfish boil seasoning is this plus a little bit more of a kick. Just because I'm cooking so much more food, I have the sausage and the corn and all those things in it.
You want everything to be flavorful.
Yeah, so everything has to be flavorful. So I have more of a kick in that one, just to accommodate the food that I'm cooking.
Yeah, because you see a lot of people using Old Bay, which is like, it's fine, but it's not. That's what I'm thinking, because I've had not an authentic crawfish boil, but I've done like different seafood boils, and I always find like it's just a little bland. It's just a little bland.
Well, you can definitely go to Amazon and get like Zatarans,
right.
Those type of crawfish boil, the liquids. You can do those things. That's very well possible. But for me to stay unique.
Yeah.
And to be true to myself, I make my own. And then I can stay in business too.
Yeah.
You stay in business.
Keeps people coming to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because...
But I mean, like I said, these things that I make, they're not this top secret item.
Yeah.
You can do it.
People know gumbo.
You can make gumbo.
It's gumbo.
But I do make everything to be my own unique flavor.
That's right.
To ensure that no one can do what I do.
This is Warren's gumbo.
This is my gumbo. My flavor, my spices. You can't buy it in the store. You can't imitate it.
I also prefer to make my own spice blends anyways, because then you're controlling the salt. There's not fillers in there, because a lot of them will just grind up stems and this and that, whatever.
Exactly.
And this way you're controlling it, and like even taco seasonings, things like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll cheat, and in a pinch I'll use the store bought. But making your own, it just. I don't know, the quality, you can control it so much better.
Exactly. So now at this point, we're pretty much done with everything. Okay. It's all in the pot.
Okay.
So now what I do, I cut it down to a low medium.
Okay.
And we let it simmer. And along the way, you taste it along the way.
Yeah.
Get your spoon, taste, make sure that the flavors and the seasoning is where you want it.
You know what it's supposed to be like? Yes. I just want to taste it because I'm curious. So. Oh, that texture looks perfect to me.
It needs some more seasoning to it, but it's getting there. It's pretty close. Pretty close.
I love, like a little more salt in there, maybe, but
definitely.
But that flavor that is.
You can take it on the back of your tongue, where it's heading. You can see where we're going with this.
I think you might you might convert me to a gumbo lover.
But you can tell what the direction that we're going. And even with this, at this point, you can still taste a little bit of heat. But we do need to add some more to it. It's still early in the process. Things are still simmering. Things are still marrying. That's why we cut it down low, put the lid on.
It has a really nice fresh flavor. Like I would like the gumbos that I've had, like they almost taste heavy, or you know, like it's almost muddy.
Yeah.
You know, and with this one, like I can actually still taste the celery, the bell pepper, the onion. I can taste all the spices. I'm getting a little bit of that smoke from the sausage, and a nice little kick from that spice mix of yours.
Now, if you see me doing a lot of salt, just because I know what I'm looking for, so that's why I'm doing it. And plus, it's a huge pot,
Yeah.
So you need a lot.
A lot of people, this is the thing, like, don't be afraid to salt your food.
And please don't.
Like, especially there's a lot of flour in there. And flour, to me, like, as soon as you're using a flour base to something, you're using way more salt than you normally would. Because it's just it's so bland, and you have to account for that.
And the chicken and everything else that's in here as well.
Yeah, don't be afraid to salt your food. Again, like Warren was saying, taste as you go, but salt your food. You know, you find a nice quality salt and make sure that food is nice and tasty. Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. Okay, so we're gonna let this keep on cooking a little bit, fixing the seasoning as we go. And at this point, I think we're just gonna kind of come back with the finished product to show you guys.
Yes.
We've got some rice waiting on the side, and I'm very excited. My mouth is watering. This is gonna be really good. So we're gonna show you how to finish this off. All right, so our gumbo is finished. First, I'm gonna show a nice little close up here. That looks and smells amazing. Look at the color and the flavor in there. So Warren did one up for us here. So we've just got some simple white rice, the gumbo all around it. Oh, I love the green onion garnish. All right, so we are going to dig into this beautiful, beautiful gumbo. But I especially would like to thank my very special guest.
Thank you for having me.
This was a lot of fun, and I think we'll definitely have to do this again and do a nice crawfish boil for sure.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and hope you enjoyed this tutorial on a true New Orleans gumbo.